Oh, here you are, finally.
Apologies. I went to freshen up and change my clothes.
But you've always worn the same clothes since this whole story started.
Do you think it was easy to find a short-sleeve coat with a hole for letting the scarf pass through? I had to order a supply of them. Besides, you also... Ah, nothing. You look nice, you know?
Anyway, I have bad news. Radwed and his men must have discovered your deception and disabled the tracking bracelet. We know they reached West Rotfield, then nothing.
So, are we stuck?
Not really. Do you remember the doctor's references to the rose and the cross? I started researching the territory using the two terms as keywords, and I almost immediately got feedback. Of course, the source is not exactly reliable. We're talking about conspiracy websites.
Are you referring to Wheelo's blog?
No, a guy named Rupert Saucer, the classic zealot who lives in a trailer isolated from the world. I would usually rule out such a result, but in this case, Saucer claims that in an exclusive local cemetery, the King Lyrie, an ancient Rosicrucian temple, is hidden.
Rosicrucian? Is that the name of the doctor's sect?
The information I found refers to a group of enlightened intellectuals of which very little is known. Guess who's listed among the alleged Grand Masters of the Order, though?
Count Cagliostro.
As you would say, bingo.
We'll have time later to investigate the Rosicrucian further, but for now, we have to inspect the King Lyrie.
Wait. I think you should keep this.
The scrying mirror. Are you sure?
I don't feel like walking around with some cursed ancient artifact in my pocket. And now let's go.
And so that was the place where it would all end. Maybe miss the brackish air of Miami, or the shining sun of San Leo. Well, let's take a look. No zombification. There must have been a black humor lover around here. Or, at least, I hope that was the case. I wondered if it was linked in any way to the Rosicrucian, but the lack of any iconography suggested the opposite. Unfortunately, it was locked, and I couldn't see anything useful in the side compartment. She wore a beautiful top hat. The hearse was empty, so according to superstition, it wouldn't bring me any misfortune. Or is it the opposite? Alice, let's try to talk to the Undertaker. Good morning.
This must be my lucky day. I haven't seen so many visitors for years.
I thought cemeteries received hundreds of people a day.
Not this one, Beefcake. Only a few people can afford to tread the precious pebbles of the King Lyrie.
Beefcake, huh? Well, she had better taste than she looked.
As a result, I'm stuck here alone all the livelong day. It's deadly boring. Do you get it?
Listen, we'd really like to chat with you, but we're in a rush. We're trying to find some crypts, ancient crypts to be precise.
Do you see that tree? Follow that path and you'll find them in front of you.
Thanks.
Hey, wait for me. Wow, this cemetery's got something about it.
The farther we proceed, it gradually becomes more ancient. What's wrong?
I have good news and bad news. Do you see those two near the crypt?
The blonde and the goon? Don't tell me that...
Yep, Eugene and Mama. Radwed's henchmen I faced in Miami.
Ouch!
Hey, relax. This guy's already handled them successfully a couple of times.
No, Lars, you're on my foot.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And the good news?
Well, at least they saved us the trouble of searching for the crypt. It's surely the one they are guarding.
Entering will be more difficult than expected.
Fortunately, neither of them shines with acumen. With the right idea and a bit of luck, we can make it.
We have to find a way to distract them and open the crypt as fast as we can.
A two-phase plan. I like it.
It'll be quicker if we split the tasks. You take care of the crypt, I'll deal with those two.
You're crazy. I can't let you do it. Even if Mama looks like a pig with a wig, she has no scruples. And if she sees you...
Listen, they're forced to stay in the vicinity of the crypt, right? So if I keep my distance, I won't endanger myself. You go back to Quentin's pub and find a way to access the crypt. I'll try to push them as far as possible from the area. From intern to action hero in no time, right?
Alice,
Get out of here before I change my mind.
be careful, okay?
What's the big deal? Distracting two killers? Child's play. A bunch of dry and crispy leaves with the 1,000 colors of a European autumn. The candle is pretty common, but the chandelier is really beautiful. I'll take the wire. She seems like a repressed blabbermouth to me. It's probably just some silliness put there by children, or a smartass. I always get the chills when I see one of these passing by on the road. I guess it's natural. I need to focus. Not a great idea. Have you got a minute?
I have all day if you want.
Can you give me some information on this cemetery?
The King Lyra is a very exclusive place. New families are not allowed in very easily. This stuff is all hundreds of years old. Most of the crypts in here date back before 1600, can you imagine?
How many people work here exactly?
It's just me and Matthew, the janitor and handyman. He doesn't do anything but clean. He never even finds 5 minutes to chat.
Do you know anything about the visitors who are now in the crypt area?
You mean that rude blonde in the company of that big dude? I believe they're hiding a secret.
Are you serious?
Of course. He's her sexual toy boy.
I hope not, or we'd have to add incest to their substantial pile of sins. I'll keep exploring these quiet places.
Always alone.
Better not tempt fate too much and stay away from those ruthless henchmen. A surveillance camera. This one in particular looks defective and captures nothing, but there could be others. I could use them to dig up information on our enemies. I have to access the recordings. Have you got a minute?
I have all...
I didn't think graveyards had such state-of-the-art surveillance systems.
The King Lyra has many ancient tombstones, and some of them are crammed full of jewels or marble statues. A thief could acquire a real fortune in here.
Can I take a look at the video recordings from the last 2 days?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't let anyone come in. However, I can come out if you like. We could talk about our dreams, about our hopes for the future.
I don't have much of those. I'm just an intern. Ex-intern, to be precise. Time's running out, and I have to check those recordings. I need a way to get the Undertaker out of her guardhouse. I'll keep exploring these quiet... Maybe I can use them somehow. I don't really like this idea very much, but I have no time to take things easy.
Fire! Fire!
We need some water, quick!
There's a little fountain on the other side of the cemetery.
I have only a few minutes. I must hurry. I can't believe my eyes. This camera caught a sunny day in England. Judging by the description Lars gave me, that must be Father Carlo. Further proof we identified the right crypt. This camera is covered by something. Oh no, I didn't realize I was caught on camera. This distorting effect is horrible. That's why the camera at the entrance doesn't capture anything. It's broken. Here's our 2 henchmen arriving. What's the woman doing? Am I wrong, or is she... Of course, she's locking the car with the remote control. I can hear footsteps getting closer. Better scram... Just in time. So that red car is Mama's and Eugene's. I'm becoming a good detective. Let's take a closer look. Mama left the window slightly lowered. I'd call that a rare stroke of luck. An old trick I saw in many movies with my dad. All right, I'm about to squeeze inside the car of a killer. No one in sight. It's make or break time. These guys are sick. It's closed with a small lock. Another old film noir trick. My God, it's... I haven't held a gun since my years in the academy. Besides, knowing that someone might have been killed by this very one. The handbrake is on and preventing the car from moving. You have to be mentally disturbed to hang a doll like this in your own car. The car is angled downhill. Releasing the handbrake, it would roll away, probably to crush something. Seems like a valid plan to me. I'd say I'm finished here. Better get back to the pub to explain my idea to Lars.
So you light the fuse.
And then you run.
And are you sure this will cause enough of an explosion?
It depends on the gunpowder, but yes, it should blow the lock.
Lars, are you involving a stranger?
Involving in what? Good old Christian here was just helping me solve a little domestic problem.
It often happens. You install a nice armored front door to keep out the ill intention, but then you forget the keys in the house and you can't enter anymore. Fortunately, you didn't lower the anti-theft hook. Otherwise, even the dynamite wouldn't have been enough.
Dynamite?
Maybe that's an exaggeration. Just a little tiny charge.
Well, Christian, I really must thank you. If it weren't for you, I would probably be sleeping on a bench tonight.
It was nothing. Let's have a drink one of these nights.
Bah. So this is your plan?
I know it's crazy, but we must get in fast, even if you provide us with the best of diversions. Anyway, what's your status?
I identified Mama's car and managed to force my way in. The car's on a slope, so if I release the handbrake, it should loudly crash.
Alice, I did not expect that from you. Breaking into cars, creating plans to destroy another's property. I'm proud of you.
And now?
As planned, give me time to manufacture an explosive. The most complicated part will be to find something that serves as a powerful detonator.
Something like this?
You are the best assistant in the world.
Wrong, Lazarus Bundy. I'm not your assistant, remember?
You're right. So, wait for me here, partner.
So, are you single?
Oh, gosh.
The final madness of Lazarus Bundy was about to start. The main event, so to speak. The guy at the table had even scribbled down how to manufacture a handmade explosive stick. I couldn't believe what I saw. A little delicious, intoxicating pistachio. And it was mine. Oh, mine. Hey there.
Can't you wait 8 minutes or so, damn it? I bet my monthly wage on this match.
I'll be quick, I promise. I suppose you're familiar with this area.
Not much. I have everything I need right here.
So you don't know anything about the King Lyrie?
The cemetery. A dusty but ritzy place. You'd like it. Why don't you go right now?
I've already been there, actually.
Well, go back there and leave me alone once and for all.
I worked in a bar once.
I'm not hiring.
Are you sure? I make amazing cocktails.
We don't serve cocktails here. This is a pub with dignity.
Do you also sell strong stuff here?
Finally, you order something. I was starting to believe you were only here to make me miss the highlights.
Nice whiskey, please.
Whiskey? Pah! You Americans really don't know how to enjoy things.
I'm not exactly American. What do you suggest?
The English nectar par excellence, of course. Gin, born in the Middle Ages as a medicine and surviving until today with the same identical role.
Is gin a medicine?
A medicine for the soul. Wait there. Enjoy it. Feel its soft and warm caress sliding down your gullet.
Yeah, I'll let it breathe for a bit first.
It's £8.
It's a bit dark around here.
You think so too? I was considering putting some 150-watt bulbs on the counterboard of the bar.
I was being ironic. This pub alone can enlighten the entire neighborhood.
England is a pretty rainy place, and I try to remedy that however I can, okay? Actually, you know what?
Do you want some pistachios?
Nah, if you found it in here, it must be at least 15 years old.
Do you want some pistachios?
I saw you when you picked it up from the floor, so I'll pass.
Do you want some pistachios?
It's all furry and sooty. What the hell did you do with it?
Hey! What's happening to the electrical system?
You know what? The atmosphere has improved.
But I can't even see the tip of my nose.
Exactly. Much better than before.
I'm missing the old match.
Yeah, well, it seems deadly boring to me.
Turn on that goddamn light!
Do you want some pistachios?
I prefer to use my mouth for talking, thanks. By the way, would you like... Always alone.
No, that woman was as annoying as a mosquito. The maintenance guy was whistling as if he was assigned to pastry tasting in a bakery. Hey,
Do you need something?
I just wanted a word with you. I am Lazarus Bundy, and I come from Miami.
I'm Matthew, and I come from the dust.
What?
Oh, you know, from dust you have come and to dust you shall return. I was trying to stay in character, to make your visit to this cemetery more immersive.
You just gave me the chills. You worked at the library long?
Nah, I found this amazing job just a couple of months ago.
You're being sarcastic, right?
This is a cemetery reserved for nobles and aristocrats, with a minimum turnout of visitors. I pretend to clean, sometimes I sweep up a few leaves. A real godsend. The most complex task I have to deal with is the maintenance of the tombstones. You know, making the inscriptions, being sure they don't break, stuff like that.
But don't you feel a deep sense of responsibility towards the people buried here?
Let's put it this way, none of my customers have ever complained about the service.
What can you tell me about the Undertaker?
Oh, she's one of the plagues of Egypt. She'd be able to babble 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without interruption.
I'll leave you, to your work. Do you want some pistachios?
No, I'm fine, thanks. I've just eaten the biggest plate of fish and chips of all time. I have vinegar coming out of my ears.
Bunch of ingrates.
Don't climb, mate. You could fall and break your head.
Well, it's nice to see you worry about me.
I'm not worried about you, I'm worried for me. Do you know how much work it is digging a grave?
So Matthew was responsible for the tombstones, among other things. An idea came to mind.
What was that noise?
Oh, something hit a tombstone in the works and cracked it.
Really? That's great.
Great.
Of course, because I will be forced to call Matthew in and I will finally have someone to talk to.
I'll call him for you. I'm sure he'll be delighted. Hey. I think your jury colleague needs you.
Oh no, please. Are you sure?
I'm afraid so. There's a tombstone to fix as soon as possible, at the entrance.
Oh, how devastatingly boring. She'll make my ears bleed with her endless chatter.
After I got rid of Matthew, I prepared to tear apart that section of the cemetery. The tarp was tied with a rubber wire. While I'm at it, I'd pick that up too. That's the reason why the tarp was there. A defective surveillance camera, which emitted dangerous electrical sparks. So the camera still contained a tape, although it was evidently out of order. Couldn't they repair it instead of covering it with a tarp? I'd be electrocuted to death. I started waving like a snake, following the hypnotic movement of the flame. I couldn't say how many minutes went by before I realized I looked like a real idiot. The label read, Night Sighting Z. What kind of trash was on there? My goodness. Sometimes my mind floated and envisioned the most absurd situations. Not while the guy was leaning on the tombstone. Hey, I'd put some ice on that foot. Maybe I went a bit overboard with the brute force, but then again, I was in a rush. I found some adhesive tape and a wonderful pincher. What a haul. For my little project, I needed some gunpowder, so I removed the bullets from the weapon Alice gave me. Perfect for extracting some gunpowder. That would make the wax more malleable. Soaking it in the gin, I'd made it flammable. What can I say? Green Dart would definitely leave this world with a bang. I first had to seal the handlebar, or the powder could blow away to the four winds. My stick was only missing a fuse. In addition to the fuse, I used the Scotch tape to affix the stick to the crypt gate. With that done, I had finally completed my little destruction work. I just had to find a way to light it. Great. At the right moment, I'd light the stick using those sparkles. A quick phone call to Alice, and we could define the last details. So, that's the plan in broad terms. It's a bit risky, but it's the best we have.
Lars, I'm not sure anymore. What if you can't stop Redwood?
In that case, contact Burton. Old Seamus will listen to you. If you tell him that I couldn't make it.
All right. Yes. Okay. I'm going. Lars.
Yeah?
I just wanted to say that, I mean, if we...
I know, Alice.
Really?
Yeah. I can't wait to celebrate like screaming monkeys at Quentin's pub as well.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I... Okay, yes. We'll celebrate tonight.
I really did know, Alice.